when the boss asks you to do a job, you don't generally say no. So we had a few conversations about it, and our staff is pretty hands-on with it, and all of our guys. It's not like we go special teams and then everyone goes and drinks Gatorade and stands on the side and then, one or two guys are coaching. So our guys are pretty hands-on, and we've been that way, and I think most of us grew up coaching that way. So it was pretty good, pretty easy transition that way, and more organizing and getting to be up in front of the room, which is great. I love that I can be in contact and touch different position groups than I normally would. I think that's one of the exciting parts about doing the special teams. You get to build relationships with the defensive position, the DBs, or maybe the tight ends or things like that. So I like that part about it, and I'm excited about it.
With all your guys back at outside linebacker this spring, how do you create new competition, develop new battles, knowing that you've kind of got an established core already back?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, every day counts. Every drill counts. Every rep counts. They're all judged. They're all graded. Everything is important. No one has a job. You never stay the same. You're either getting better or you're getting worse in this game. I think that's universal. So just because a guy was in a position or had a role or did a job last year, depending on what that person may or may not have done throughout the offseason with weight training, nutrition, different things like that, and then his competition, you don't know if that guy got bigger, faster, stronger. So there's, I think the best way to put it that I've heard is the depth chart's always written in sand. It's not carved in stone. So that thing can be erased, reordered, reorganized at any day, any time, any week. And same thing with our reps now. Those reps that they just worked on today, those are going to count, and they work towards tomorrow. So that's going to be a big part of it.
Hey, what are the one or two things you got to fix right away about your special teams? Struggled in a lot of areas last year.
Yeah, well, the biggest thing with every phase of this game, if your techniques and fundamentals aren't great, then you're not going to have a chance for success. When I was in Philadelphia with the Eagles, Dave Phipp, who does an unbelievable job and has been a long-time NFL special teams coordinator, he spent more time on techniques and fundamentals by far and away than scheme. So if we can fix our techniques, fundamentals, bring the intensity that goes with it and what you need, I think then we'll be able to grow and be better at the special teams. Yep.
How's he moving?
Yeah, it's been 2 quick days and pretty windy. It's good spring Nebraska weather, and so it's a little bit hard to some look great. They catch tailwind, some may be otherwise, but just like anyone else coming off of injury, things like that, he's going to take a little bit to get back into it. But he's working hard, and these guys are hungry to get their name right and kind of earn their stripes too.
You ever coached an Aussie-style punter before?
No, the guy that I had, probably Ryan Quigley when I was at BC. He was a traditional punter, so that'll be a little bit of a learning curve. But just like anything, when I first started coaching, my first assignment when I ever became a college coach was to learn how to be a long snapper, so I could coach the long snapper and the short snapper. So from there, and then that progresses. You learn how to just pick up a little bit of how these guys punt or how these guys kick, just so you can be a little bit of a sounding board and help them. I also know enough to know that that's a different position. Those guys really are truly specialists, hence the name. So a lot of times you don't want to mess with a guy too much, right? It would be like messing with a golf pro. All of a sudden they have one round that maybe didn't go they want. You want to try to reinvent their golf swing. Well, that's not going to do them any good. So you got to be cognizant and aware of that with these guys.
Mike, what is the value with that special teams coordinator position to be able to be on the field every day with them and practice, in contrast to what you guys had a year ago?
Yeah, I think that it's similar to what I was talking about with the meetings. It's great to be able to kind of get up and line up with a guy and be able to get your kind of hands on him, so to speak, as far as, hey, this is your step, these are your techniques, and you're really right up on it. And instead of kind of going through a guy or something like that, then you get a chance to be face to face, and he can hear what you're saying a little bit better, and a little bit you can. Learn the guys and learn their how they learn, and kind of alter your teaching to be able to help those guys each individually when you get to really get a chance to be right up on them like that.
You got some of the same returners. Cam was the punt returner for the end of last year. Alante Brown was the kickoff guy. Who are you working at those spots?
Yeah, we're the same deal. We're working a bunch of guys. It's one of the great things about having the roster size that we have. We have a lot of guys. It's going to be a big competition. I hope the guys that have experience use that to their advantage and incorporate that in their training, and then that will make them better as they go along. And then the younger guys that are hungry for that position, I want them to fight and try to be able to go ahead and take steps up that ladder too. So hopefully that competition is going to breed the guys getting better and better at what they're doing.
Hey, what can you learn about Blaze Gunnerson this spring? I mean, I feel like he's had injury setbacks. He didn't have a spring a year ago. He didn't have a fall camp a year ago. Really, what can you learn about a guy like that?
Yeah, I'm excited to be able to get Blaze hopefully on the field for an extended period of time. And just like all the young guys, the spring is invaluable. We missed out on the spring last year. We didn't get to have it, and this is a huge part of it. This is true competition every single day. To think of each one of these practices, right? It's almost like you have a season. 12 games, 14 practices, 3 of them have to be in helmets, and then you have the spring game. You kind of whittle that back, and you're going, okay, you're talking about 11 or 12 real practices where you have a chance to compete. It's almost like a season. So you can't miss one of these, and Blaze is in the same boat. He's got to hit every single one of these, and he's a guy that's super intelligent, very intense. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do when he run around and put the pads on. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Still, Darius Payne, one of your guys, and how does he? I know he was banged up a little bit before last year, but he had some nice moments during the season. What do you hope to see out of him?
Yeah, well, I'm hoping with Feldarius, kind of the same thing. He got some good experience last year, getting the reps that he got, and I'm hoping that he can build on that and continue to grow. Another season with Zach and his staff for him is huge. He get bigger and stronger, kind of changing his body. So he's doing a good job with that. And then also knowing the calls, the terminology, even something as easy as you're lining up in the defensive end position. You're playing a 5 technique. You've probably done that since you were first started playing football. Well, now the terminology and the calls are a little bit different. So there's that little click where it registers of what that's saying to me or making me do in my job. So now that you don't have to think about that, you just react and it happens, I think that makes you a step quicker, makes you a little bit stronger. You can anticipate a little bit better. So I'm hoping that he can gauge that and have a great spring and put that into kind of use that as a stepping stone into a great summer.
Mike, I know it's only been a couple of days of practice, but what have you noticed about the team in general, just about its size and strength of the work that was put in for the winter?
Yeah, Coach Duval and his staff, they do a great job. It's been, now being around his program for the last 4 or 5 years, it's been great to watch him work, and the way that they attack the weight room is awesome. So now, I think just like, when you start working out, even when you're, I have a 13-year-old, so like a middle schooler, you start working out and your body starts to change. You get physically stronger. Your body kind of matures. You gain confidence kind of in everything you do, even whether it's on the field or sport, walking down the hallway, whatever it may be. So I think that can carry over. You see a little bit of confidence. You see the intensity come. And then the guys knowing the terminology and the language now for being in this for, 3 cycles, even though one of them was kind of obviously weird last year with the way everything went. So you kind of see that in practice. There's good intensity. There's mistakes. Those are going to happen. As long as they're happening full speed, we can handle that and keep on moving from there.
Yeah, like when you kind of look at numbers from last year on special teams, are there like 1 or 2 things that or 2 areas, I guess, that you feel like you really need to get better in to kind of move forward as a group?
No, it's almost like when you go into your off-season program, right, with the guy, like Zach and his crew, right? Do you want the guys to get bigger or stronger or faster? And the answer is always yes. You want all of those things, right? So same thing when we're talking about the outside linebackers, the edge guys. Do we want to be better at setting the edge and minimizing the yards per carry? Yes. Do we want to be able to do a better job at rushing the quarterback? Yes. We're not going to pick one or the other to do that. Same thing with special teams. We need to get better at everything. Our goal is to improve. We're not going to stay the same. We're not, and there's no other choices. There's no going backwards. So we need to improve in all areas, every single position on this team across the board. I think if you asked any one of the coaches of any of the positions, they're going to tell you the same thing. It's not one thing where we're like, yeah, we're good enough at that. We don't need to work there. So we're going to work, and when we go out there and drill, they're going to be held accountable for every single drill that we do. It's going to be detailed and organized, and they're going to know where they're going. So it's on each individual player to use that opportunity to be as good as he can be.
And Mike, as you guys took the field this week, you just sit back and think about the last year and just think about, holy cow, like this. I mean, I know we're not out of COVID yet, but
no.
I feel like
Yeah, yeah. It's been an unbelievable year. I think everyone reflects on it as we even headed into the 2021 new year. And for us being able to come back out in spring ball, what a crazy last however many 20 months or whatever it's been for everybody. And this to be able to get out here and kind of get around the guys, that part's been awesome. And I know it's been crazy for everyone, not just the guys in the football world, but for us to be able to come out and hopefully have the start to a somewhat normal cycle here, work in the spring, and hopefully we can get through the summer and then into the fall kind of back on track.
Yeah, I have a question about Nebraska's offense since you see it from the other side. Do you feel like the size of that group, the receivers and tight ends, is challenging for your defense to have to try to deal with not only maybe the schematics, but just the sheer size of some of the guys?
Yeah, I think that I use Chip Kelly's statement, right? Big guys beat up little guys most of the time. So if you're bigger and faster, stronger than the guy you're going against, whether it's football or ice hockey or basketball or whatever it may be, you're going to have a little bit of an advantage if as long as you keep your athleticism and stuff like that. So when you're going against bigger guys, I think that definitely plays into it, and you have to find a way to be more exact with your technique, and you can't rely on brute strength or pushing guys around. So you have to be dialed in on your techniques and fundamentals, and then be able to be as big and strong as you can be to be able to go up and against and battle those guys.
If you cast your mind back to 2018 when you got here, how much has that side of the ball changed in terms of physical size and components?
Yeah, I think that you could probably do a roster study and just look straight at that and see it. And same thing if when you guys pop in and see practice, you're going to see there's more height, there's more strength, a little bit thicker probably than some of the guys. So obviously, there were some other guys that were big. I had Mick. I mean, Mick's one of the taller, longer, bigger interior defensive linemen that I've coached. So guys like that. But these guys have definitely growing in the right direction, and we wanted to be as big and strong as fast as they can be, and with that they have to be dialed in on their what they're doing technique wise and put the whole thing together.
Who are you working behind JoJo kind of in that hybrid role right now?
Yeah, we kind of have that thing a couple different ways right now. There's a few guys. Javen Wright's coming back from an injury. Simon Odie's a guy that can walk out there and has a similar coming from the linebacker room skill set. John Bullock. Isaac Gifford's a guy who can come down there from the safety position and play. So, depending on what you're seeing and what you're doing, that position is probably the most unique on our defense. You're truly a safety on one play, and then you're down playing what I would equate to a 3-4 Sam, or excuse me, a 4-3 Sam outside linebacker spot. And then, there's times, you can go back and see JoJo playing some 6 technique last year. So, you got to be able to be a D end at times, a safety at times, and live in that outside linebacker world. It's a hard position to play. And, you got to be able to run and cover an open slot receiver and still have the physicality. That's why JoJo's, brings a unique set of tools and a unique set of talents. As a guy that's he's big enough to play. He's a NFL-sized inside linebacker, and then has the ability to walk out and play with these guys athletically. So something that we got to grow and mold the rest of these young guys into.
You have Eric Cruikshank on the other side for turkey kickoff. Do you have a guy right now who just kick a touchback if needed?
Well, once again, I think if we're kicking, from the north to the south today, then yeah. If we were going the other way, then probably not. So, depending on the wind, the Big Ten is a little bit different. We have weather, we have wind, so that's always a great plan. That's my favorite plan. Have a guy that kicks it through, and don't give him a dynamic playmaker like that a chance to put his hands on the ball. But the reality is, and my last stop was Boston College. We were similar up there as well, where you'd love to have that and be able to knock the ball out of the end zone and everything, but you also got to be able to cover kicks, and that's going to be a big emphasis on us. For us, the most important phase right now, you got to be able to punt the ball when you need to, protect and then cover, and then same thing with kickoff. You got to be able to cover those kicks when you have to kick it.
You're not sure if you got a guy that can just kick it through the end zone at this point?
Well, it depends. Like I said, which way we go. Not in this league. I think that there's been a couple guys that we've seen that okay, it doesn't matter. He's going to nail it all the way across, anyways. But you got to be able to work and cover on that. But
have you seen the walk-on kid coming in, the Myers kid?
Not in person, obviously. So yeah, same thing. But whatever. I'm not. I keep saying it, but my hair is less, and what is there is now gray and everything else. So I keep saying I'm not some old grizzled, coach or whatever. But been doing this long enough to know that you got to count on the guys that are in the program, right? It's easy to go, oh, hey, we got this guy coming in at any position, and he can make a change and a difference. Well, you don't know how a guy's going to react or come in, or what they're going to do between now and when they get here, and you don't have tabs on those guys. Are they, is it a workout guy who's doing stuff all the time? Is he a guy that's enjoying the end of his high school years, which most high school seniors probably do? So I think that there's a little bit of a mistake sometimes the guys make trying to put too many eggs in an incoming guy's basket. But we'll see, and everything's a competition. We'll leave it open for everybody, and if someone can bang it through every time, I'm going to be fired up.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you.